folks who have returned to Waco tonight to honor this class of 2018. Hold your applause until we name them all. Dean Smith, Grant Taft, Gary Blair, the son of Yale Larry Sr., Yale Larry Jr., James Segrist, the great Jody Conrad, DeLoss Dodds, Mac Brown, Max Williams, Carol Dawson, and Jim Ray Smith. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you, Hall of Famers, for coming back. Thank you all. Since the year 2000, our next inductee has a better coaching record than any college football coach in America. Watch the video screens.
Coach Pete Fredenburg is the architect of the University of Mary Hardin Baylor's powerhouse football program. When he was hired in 1998, the former Baylor defensive guru quickly turned the Crusaders into a perennial Division III championship contender. Over the last 20 seasons, Fredenburg's record is 210 wins against only 39 losses, and his teams have won or shared 15 conference championships. In 2004, UMHB made its first trip to the Stag Bowl, losing a close one to Linfield 28-21. In 2016, the Crew's Dream National Championship season culminated with a perfect 15-0 record and a 10-7 victory over Wisconsin-Oshkosh in the Stag Bowl. The Crusaders narrowly missed winning back-to-back titles when they lost to Mount Union 12-0 in the 2017 Stag Bowl. Fredenburg's many honors include being named the 2014 Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year. He has been named American Southwest Conference Coach of the Year 10 times. And in 2016, the American Football Coaches Association Division III Coach of the Year. Coach Pete Fredenburg adds another honor to his impressive resume, this time as a member of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Pete Fredenburg.
Thank you. Thank you. Dog. Man, what a blessing. Unbelievable. You know, the thing that's amazing is that this induction class has Nell and Coach Myers. And Nell was at New Braunfels when Karen and I, you've already heard that story. She likes Karen a whole lot more than she does me. But Karen was coaching her, and every once in a while, Karen would ask me to come down and try to guard Nell. Well, they would call that abuse today because it was awful. But I was just tall. That's all I was. And then Coach Myers, my family moved to Lubbock, and I was able to go out for basketball there. I had moved from Clifton. I was walking the hall with my Clifton leather jacket on, and he came out and grabbed me, and I learned more basketball in 3 or 4 months. We actually moved back to Clifton after that short time that I was with him. But what an incredible time being there with him, and what an impact he made on me so quickly. So when I walked up to him today, of course, he didn't remember me, but you know, it's amazing what we do. what we do and what he does has impacted so many lives, and you just hope you get a chance to do that a little bit. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed to be married to a wonderful woman, and she, any honor or anything that I achieve is directly related or responsible to her support, her love, and she's just absolutely the best coach's wives a person could have. Karen, thank you, and God bless you. We have, thank you. I have 3 great children that she raised while I was either recruiting or coaching, but Corey, Denver, and Cody, Denver's wife, Jill, Cody's wife, Lindsay, and 9 grandchildren. That's an interesting story. One of my grandchildren is named Pete Fredenburg, and I got a phone call right before they named him, and Jill said to me, we're going to name this boy Pete Fredenburg. You better not screw up. So far, so good. When Cooper called and said I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I turned to my wife and I said, amazing, well, I'm going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. In your wildest dreams, did you ever see that? And she said, Pete, you're not in my wildest dream. I am truly blessed, and I'm wondering what in the world I'm doing up here with all of these people, but I am blessed beyond being blessed. Lou Holtz said one time, the two big days in your life are when you're born and when you figure out why you were born. And that's well said. Karen and I walked into a devotion in San Antonio at coaching school one time. A guy named Max Lucado was preaching. And Max had written several books, and the one that really caught my attention it's called The Cure for the Common Life. And in it, he talks about living in your sweet spot. Now, all of us that are golfers know, I don't know what a sweet spot is in the golf, but all you golfers know what hitting it in your sweet spot, tennis players, baseball players. But he said there's three basic criteria: to honor God, to help others, and love what you're doing. That's your sweet spot. Honor God, help others, and love what you're doing. So in order to look and see how God has blessed me, I'd like to take a look backwards. You know, my brother and my sister are here. We lost my youngest sister, Pammy, in 2016. But we were raised by parents that just absolutely loved us. And they watched everything that we did. And Bubba and I would always play in baseball or football or anything outside. But they so encouraged us to participate. And I know I got a little bit of my competition and loving athletics from them. Then we moved to Clifton when I was in high school. Clifton had the head football coach named Aubrey Roberts. He ended up coaching at Waco Midway. Aubrey loved kids. He was so optimistic and he got so much out of you. And I remember vividly the day that it happened. I was standing in a lunch line and I just watched Aubrey work with and talk with the kids, and I said, it's amazing how much he impacts people's lives. I want to do that. That's when I decided I wanted to coach. And I made a middle note of that. After leaving Clifton, I went to Southwest Texas, played, I call it Southwest Texas, Texas State. Sorry, Karen Chisholm. We had I met Karen there, and we got married my senior year. She was working on her master's. We had a wonderful time, and we moved to New Braunfels and started coaching at New Braunfels. And you know, Martin Anderson said in his NFL Hall of Fame speech, he said, when you learn to live a profound life is when you realize you want to be surrounded by people that you love and respect. And all of the coaches at New Braunfels was just an incredible experience. I fell in love with coaching there. The Streeties are here, the Majors are here, the Perkins are here, the Kingsburys. What an incredible experience, and I cherish that memory forever. I wanted to coach in college, and Corky Nelson was the defensive coordinator and a good friend of mine at Baylor University. I learned so much from Corky, and I got to go to Baylor to work with Corky. He taught me to get the most out of yourself and expect it from your players. And he was a great coach, and I met Richard Cundiff there, and we worked together, and he's a lifelong friend, and I'm truly blessed for knowing Corky and Richard. But being able to work for 14 years under Grant Taft, 14 years under a remarkable man, that I learned you could be competitive and have great integrity, and that's the kind of program that we ran, and Coach Taft was a great mentor for me. He still is. I was asked to leave Baylor and it was devastating to our family. And there were 4 people that were really, really special that stayed with us and lived that experience with us. They're here tonight. Sherry and Bobby Smith, Donna and George Stauber, Bob and Sarah Barkley, and Steve and Jan McLean. Now let me tell you about Steve McLean. I went to Mary Hardin Baylor in 1998. We started the program in 1998. For 20 years, every home ball game, he set up the tailgate and cooked for us for 20 years. Stevie, unbelievable. God has blessed me. And we had in 1997, I had the opportunity to interview with Jerry Bockham, the president of Mary Hardin Baylor, and walk around the grounds with Ben Shipp, then the AD. The administration supported building a football program. It was first. We didn't have anything. There was no fields. There were no uniforms. There were nothing. The administration now is the same. They support our program incredibly. I don't think you can ever have a successful athletic program without great support from your administration. Dr. Randy O'Rear and Steve Theodore and Randy Mann are the administration now. We were having to hire coaches, buy equipment, recruit. I made it a goal to go from 75-mile radius of Belton, Texas, to visit with high school coaches and let them hear the story, the vision that Dr. Bockham and Dr. O'Rear and I all had. It was wonderful. I had to hire a staff, and the first person I hired was Karen Goff. Karen and I worked together at Baylor. She's been with me 20 years. She's just absolutely incredible. And we had a goal. I didn't know much about Division III. The difference between Division III and the other divisions, you don't get any scholarships. So the athletes get nothing more than the students as far as financial aid. So it was a learning curve for me. But we had a wonderful man still there named Ron Brown that has really done an incredible job of educating me. I appreciate you, Ron Brown. God bless you. Thank you so much for that. We had a goal of reaching about 100 kids. We had 217 show up the first year, 217 guys. We were covered up, and we stayed that way until the generosity of Cindy and Chris Cummings, and now we have Cummings Fieldhouse to add to our facilities. The hardest job there, you can imagine, were our trainers. Jimmy Roughton and Billy Laxton and Daryl Housem are incredible, and they're supported by great doctors, George Bartell and Hank Mayer, that we've lost. Now remember, I'm looking back at guys how God worked my life and helped me achieve the things that we were able to achieve. Our coaches, at one time, I had George Hafner. He had been 13 years at the University of Georgia. Corky Nelson had been the head coach at North Texas. Joe George, who had put 2 Division III programs together and was very successful. Marvin Agnew, that was a world-class administrator and a high school coach. All of those people joined with us with the rest of our coaches. All of our coaches are here. They are incredible X and O guys, but better than that, they're wonderful people and wonderful men. Larry Harmon, Steve Lee, Steve Thrash, Nate Hogg, Luke Howard, Mark Carey, Luke Howard, incredible. So I'm sorry to have to list all of these guys, but man, what a difference they made in my life. And Jeff and David Branscombe, Cody, Keith Mullins, all of those guys did a great job of helping us put it together. I want to thank Lee Fisher, Tom Hill, and the Hall of Fame committee. Absolutely the most incredible thrill I've ever had to be a part of this, and I think Nell could still beat me, but I'm always in there to tussle with her. God bless you, and thank you so much.
Get a quick picture of this, and this is, okay. It's right in front.
Pete said he's still a little upset that Gerald Myers didn't remember him, but